Well, here in South Mississippi, if you're from here, you've been here longer than, I don't know, 20 minutes, you know that it stays generally pretty warm, pretty hot. The sun baking the inside of your car. And that's where tint shops come into play. AXXS Tint, Scott Dunston, thanks for being here.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about AXXS Tint.
All right, so AXXS Tint is something I started in 2017. I've been tinting windows since 1998. I did a lot of it in a shop in Pascagoula. Katrina come in and wiped out that shop. I wanted to start over and do something else. So I had started planning on doing a larger brick and mortar, something that accommodated more people, more business. I started doing car lots. I do a lot of subcontracting for car lots. Most of the car lots in this area here use us for window tint and various services. But what I mainly wanted to do is open a shop that tailored to what the customers wanted. Okay, so I used to only carry one type of film when I first opened. Now I carry 3 types of films and multiple levels of the films. Just trying to accommodate every customer out there.
So why would it be important for a person to decide to get windows tinted aside from just the aesthetic piece?
All right, so there's multiple reasons why you'd want to tint your vehicle. Number one, it provides security and privacy. Number two, it's going to block harmful UV and heat. UV is what fades your interior and cracks your dash. It's also going to enhance the look of the vehicle. Okay, so it's going to keep you cooler while making you look cooler and provide that privacy.
Keeping you cooler while making you look cooler. You have that on a business card somewhere?
It is. So our motto is beat the heat, get your windows tinted at AXXS Tint, but tint is actually the most cost-effective way to enhance the look of your vehicle. It really changes the look of the vehicle without like a paint job or wheels or something like that.
Well, and I don't know, people out there maybe watching may have I have an astigmatism, and so at night it's really challenging, especially now that you'll notice a lot of the safety lights, the street lights are going to LED. It's a little cheaper, it's a little more cost-effective, it's better, it lasts longer. But it makes it really hard for those lights. They just kind of star out, makes it very difficult for me to see at night. During the day, not so much. Even headlights. Headlights are even worse because they're at eye level. That helps tremendously for me.
100%, and it's funny that you say that because we actually have your vehicle in the back. We're going to actually tint your front windshield so that we can kill that brightness from the LEDs at night and hopefully help your stigmatism.
Yeah. So let's talk about the three levels of tint. Let's go quickly through what those are.
All right. So we carry standard, carbon, and ceramic. Standard is our entry level. It's going to block around 10% of heat, about 79% UV. You bump up to carbon. Carbon's going to block around 30% of heat, 89% of UV. Then you bump up to the ceramic, which is our best product. It's going to block 40% of heat and 99.9% of UV.
So when we talk about the different levels of material, the different kinds of material, does that also change the ability at which maybe it could easily be scratched? Or is
it will, yes, it will. All our films have an SR coating, but you're correct. The thicker the film, the harder it is to scratch. So the ceramic is definitely going to be harder to scratch, where our entry level is going to be easier to scratch. It's a thinner product. That's why it doesn't block as much heat, doesn't block as much UV. But again, if you're on a budget or you're not going to keep your car very long, standard is where you're going to want to go.
What does it look like? So if somebody is watching and they're like, you know what, I really need to get involved in that. I have a dark colored car, I have leather interior, it stays hot. What does that process look like from the time they get in to the time they leave?
So I ask them what they're trying to achieve on their car. What are you trying to achieve? Do you just want looks? Do you want heat blockage? Do you want UV? You want it all? So what we do is we have a heat lamp display over here on the side of the counter, and it shows the different heat variations on the different type of products, okay? So I'll run through that process with them. I'll run through the legalities of what shade film they can have that's legal on their vehicle. And then what we'll do is we'll make a decision from there on what they want, and we'll fill out a work order, everything that they want, description, everything that they want, and we'll take the car and keys at that point and do the job. Most vehicles are around 2 hours. That's what I do, is do 2-hour blocks all day long is how I schedule them. Some are going to take a little longer, some are going to take a little less, but we're around 2 hours to do most vehicles.
And I guess that would really depend on how many. Like if you just want a windshield, it's less time. If you just want front windows, if you're getting all of them tinted, take a little longer.
Yep, so a 4-door car all the way around is about 2.5 hours if we're doing the windshield. If we're not doing the windshield, it's a little less than 2 hours. You know, we also use a plotter in the back. So we have a computer plotter that actually cuts out the windows for us.
Wow.
And that speeds up the time. It also keeps you from cutting on the car. It makes the left and right windows identical. It gives you extra film to tuck behind the rubber so there's no gaps, no light gaps. That's something that customers really don't like, is to get a window tinted and see light.
Strip.
Mm-hmm.
Is that common? This what you had, this device you have that cuts the size?
Most of your professional tint shops are now using plotters. Plotters came out probably 15, 20 years ago. I never wanted to learn how to use a plotter, but then when I started hiring people, I realized there was a gigantic need for a plotter. It just made them more efficient, made them more professional, you know, enhanced their job.
And a timeliness thing, it probably cuts a lot of time out of it.
It cuts about half hour to 45 minutes
wow.
out of like a full job all the way around.
Now you have a lot of other services. We're just focusing right now for our purposes for this episode on the tint. But you mentioned you offer, before we'd gotten on camera, you mentioned that you offer some discounts.
I do. So we have several discounts. We offer a 10% teacher discount. We offer 10% military discount. We also offer law enforcement and first responders all 10% discount. That teacher discount is something that you don't hardly see or hear anywhere. My wife's a school teacher, and she's always complaining that teachers don't make anything, and almost no one offers a teacher discount. So that's something that we do, is we offer that 10% teacher discount.
Especially if you're a teacher with road rage, you don't want anybody to see you getting mad in the car.
Well, that and your car is outside in the parking lot all day in the sun while you're at school, and when you get out of that classroom, you don't want to get in that steamy hot car.
Sure.
You know.
I also see a lot, again, because we're in the South, we're so close to the equator, stays hot here almost year round. I see a lot of people with that sunshade in the windshield.
The top brow, we actually give a free one with any tint purchase. So if you come in here and you buy 2 fronts and you want a front strip, we're going to give that to you for free. You know, we also offer the whole front windshield. Not everybody wants to do the whole front windshield. Not everybody can see very well at night. So that free strip draws a lot of people in there, and it's just something that we do. Just a little extra that we do is that free front visor.
I never did that. I lived in Atlanta, and driving west on 20, the sun is, you would have a 45-minute to an hour-long delay just because of that. I imagine I-10 at the same time causes horrible issues. I'm not typically driving west at that time of the day, but like the sun it's a different beast altogether, especially when it's pouring into your windshield. Sometimes glasses don't get the job done.
That's right. That's correct. You really need that extra added layer up there on top of the windshield to block that sun.
Well, listen, if you're interested in getting your windows tinted, or just the front window or side windows, the street, you get the free strip, give them a call. AXXS Tint is off of I-10 in Wool Market. You can't miss it. You can see it from the highway. The information is down there at the bottom of the screen. Give Scott and his folks here a call. They're ready to get you hooked up. Keep you. Hold on a second. Stay cool while look. How did you say that?
It'll keep you cool while keeping you looking cool.
See, how can you beat that? Scott, thanks a lot.
Very much. Thank you.